How's it going, guys? Welcome back, episode 3 of Bringing Back Bottas. And we are in Monza, and as you can see, the problem is coming up now for the engines. We spoke about it in the first episode. We knew we were going to have to take penalties at some point. So I'm just going over and I'm like, what do I take as a penalty? Because 56% wear going into the weekend, or 57%, is too much. You have to take a penalty. So in the end, with the ICE, I do take the penalty. And I don't know the penalties. I thought it was only going to be a 5 place, but when we go into practice, you'll see it's a little more. But anyway, we're 66 points behind. But yeah, here we are in practice. We get a 10 place grid penalty. So it was just the thought process was, if you did a 10 place grid penalty, you might as well just take all of them in one go and get them out of the way and just see what you can do in the race. Have a bit of damage limitation type race, because Hamilton's probably going to start from first. We're going to start from 20th if we do decide it. At the best, we could start from 11th. So it was really a decision. Do you want to start from 11th or 12th, and then still have to worry about the penalties in the future? Or do you want to just get brand new everything, brand new gearbox, brand new engines, and just have everything sorted, so you won't have to, you might not even have to take a penalty again this season, maybe a couple more, and Monza's not a bad track for it. So anyway, in Q1 we are coming out just to do get through in Q1, get used to the track, and it's been a decent lap, not too many mistakes. As we come to the end, come around the last corner, we come a little bit wide here, which on strict corner cutting would have been invalidated, but you know, we're on regular corner cutting, otherwise I feel like it'd be penalties galore. So we do get P1 actually, we're 4 tenths ahead of Hamilton, but I did look at it, I think he got held up on his lap a little bit, so that wasn't his true pace. But we come into the second one, and this is where I'm like, okay, we're taking the penalties, you know, 10 place, grid penalty, not worth it, Let's get everything new fitted in, and yeah, we're not going to go out for Q2 because obviously we want a choice of tyre to start on, so we're going to start on the medium tyres.
Every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations. And it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 miles per hour and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Ricciardo, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Vettel, Perez, Gasly, Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Ocon, Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Mick Schumacher, George Russell and Nikita Mazepin, Latifi and a Mercedes. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are in Monza, starting from the back of the grid, and taking the penalties here. It's not a bad place to take the penalties. Probably one of the best on the calendar, because we know we can overtake these cars and maybe get a podium. But it's all about damage limitation in this race. It's all about minimising the loss that we get to Hamilton, because he's starting from pole. He's probably going to win this race pretty easily. So we just need to try and get third, fourth, try and get up there. But here we are, 5 red lights, and we are underway in the Monza GP. We get a good start, Bearing in mind all these other guys are on soft, so they're going to have better traction, but we get a decent start ahead of Latifi, and going into the turn 1 chicane, obviously we're going to dive bomb like everybody would in the game. We got up the side of Raikkonen and try not to get any damage, a little bit of contact, but we are all good. We stick it around the outside, and we're up in a P15 off the start, and that's a good start. It is something that we needed. We wanted to make sure we got ahead of the slow cars, and now we can pick away at the other cars in front of us. And coming down here, up on Lance Stroll, we go down the inside. It shouldn't work, but Lance Stroll gave us the room, let us go. So now we're up in a P14, and yeah, that's thank God we got past Lance Stroll, because the Aston Martin is pretty fast in this game. And now we can get our way past these 2 Alfa Romeos and work our way up towards the front of the grid, and we're going to do that here down the main straight. Kimi Raikkonen losing his ERS towards the end of that lap, so we get a bit on him there. And we're going to go for Gio, but we weren't quite fast enough, and as Jeff's just saying there, Alonso is a little slow. He's about 3-4 cars up, so he's going to hold a couple cars up for us to catch. But coming out here, we get a good traction on Tsunoda as he went through side by side with Gio, compromising his exit. And we come out here, we're right behind Gio. We should be able to get around the outside pretty easily. We go on the grass a little bit, but coming out here, we brake a little later. Can we get around the outside of the Alfa Romeo? Yes, we do. It was important that we do. We need to get past these cars as quick as possible. And now we're up in the P11, and in 1.5 laps, it's a fantastic start. It's better than I could have hoped. So coming down, we're now coming up on the Alpines, one of them being Alonso, who is slow, and the Alpine is not very fast in a straight line either. So Alonso kind of holding up his teammate here is going to help us. We're going to get the run on both of them. Should be a pretty simple overtake, especially Alonso, who is slow.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead.
There you go. Jeff talking about DRS. We don't have it down this straight though. We get past Alonso pretty easily, but Ocon tries to stick it around the outside. We're going side by side through here. Ocon, he goes over the curb. He hits our front wing. Is that wing damage? I don't know, but we're coming up on Ocon here. It should be pretty easy overtake. It is, but that front wing is an issue. We go here and we check, and it doesn't look like we got front wing damage. So I think we're okay, but it was a bit clumsy from Ocon going straight into us there. But we're coming down this straight on lap 7. Now lap 8 on Sebastian Vettel with DRS. We're going to go up the inside. No, Vettel covers off the inside, so we're going to go around the outside. We're going to try and make this stick like Ocon, but try not to go in his front wing. We do not, because we're a better driver than Ocon, obviously. But getting the run on Vettel here, this is one of our favourite overtaking spots. And it's pretty simple. We go around the outside, which is going to be the inside for the next corner. Obviously, we've got the Mercedes power engine. It's just, this car is just so fast in a straight line. It's so fun to drive, and with the ERS we can overtake anyone apart from Lewis Hamilton, who's obviously on the mini-map you see there flying away himself. But on lap 9 we're coming up on Charles Leclerc and Perez, so we've caught the front group, and we see the McLarens up ahead, so P2 is looking very good for us at this point. And we're coming round final corner, coming down the straight. It looks like we're going to get a run on both of these guys. Leclerc on Perez. He's getting awfully close. He's getting a slipstream. Leclerc goes to the outside of Perez. We are steaming down the straight. We're going to go to the inside, so we're going to go 3 wide into the first chicane. It doesn't work. Perez clips our back wheel, and that's all 3 of us in a tangle. We get out of it quick, but Perez and Leclerc are still tangled up. We say screw going through there and just drive on the grass and straight through. But wow, Perez and Leclerc have been held up. Leclerc gets the worst of it. Perez managed to get out, but Leclerc is still stuck. He's dropping down the order, and he's down to 11th now, just in front of the Haas. So Leclerc's had a bit of a nightmare, but obviously that brought out the safety car in the end. But we're going to have a look at Perez's angle, because it looked like he caused the incident here. I think he hit my rear left tyre. So as we're coming down, we're going to go down the inside. We brake a lot later than Perez, and yeah, he just turns into my rear left tyre and causes the incident. From what I see here, look at his head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he looks to the right, and he still doesn't see me there. You know, he was looking in his mirrors looking for me, and he still didn't realise I came down the inside. So, it's what it is. We got front wing damage from it, and thankfully there's a safety car, and look at the gap we have behind us with Perez 1.7 but 8 seconds to Raikkonen, so we should be able to get that wing on and get going and come out around the same place. But as we come into the pits, Lewis had just come into pits, and we come in and our pit crew not ready. I put box and everything, but they're just not ready. So we've wasted 3.5, 4 seconds there. And that's going to cost us. So we eventually get the wing on, get the new tyres on, but we're held up in the pits as more cars are coming through. So we lose even more seconds. And it's 11.1 second pit stop, plus maybe another 2. And we come up behind Raikkonen and Perez. And it's just, it's frustrating. It was really frustrating. But we got out of the pit stop. We've got to get out quick because the AlphaTauri is coming up down our left. We do get out just ahead of him, but we've lost so many places because the pit crew weren't ready. If they were ready, we could be up even further, but some cars didn't pit, some cars stayed out for some reason. I don't know why you wouldn't pit and go on the hards. I think Gasly on the softs stayed out on the softs, and which is a very interesting choice, because what, you're going to stay out for 1 or 2 more laps and then pit? It's a weird one. But here we are at the safety car restart. We're going to get as close to Perez as possible, maybe get a move down the inside on him going into turn 1. And we're coming up, we're right in the back of him, and now off we go. We've got tyres, we've heated them up as much as possible, but we're right behind Perez. We're going to go down the inside, maybe even jump a couple more cars, because we can make a huge dive bomb down here. We got the inside of Perez, Raikkonen, and we're going to get up the inside of Norris, so we go side by side with Norris through here. Can we make it stick around the outside? Norris goes over the curb, almost hits us, but we get it through, and now it's just a drag race down into, what, turn 3, I think, turn 4, because that is turn 3, and it's a drag race with Norris. Can we brake later than him? Can we outbrake him and stick around the outside? Yes, we can. So we got past the McLaren, and the McLaren's pretty fast in this series. You've seen it. They've been outpacing the Red Bull, so it's important that we get past him. Now we can push further up the grid. We've got Gasly in front on the softs, loads of people with pits, so now we're up in a P5 after getting past Gasly pretty easy there because he's on such old softs. And now we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, and I think is it Vettel? It is Vettel. So we have P2 is definitely possible here, and Hamilton's gone. He's out of the equation. We're not going to catch him, but getting second is there. So we're coming up on Verstappen. Can we make a move down into turn 4? We think about it, we go very close. Are we going to touch? We almost touch. Our front wing almost clips his back tyre, but thankfully we didn't. We get a bit shaky coming out, and now Gasly's coming up at the inside, so now we've just causing problems for ourselves. And we're just trying to stick it out. We don't want to lose it to Gasly because he's on old sauce. We don't want him holding us up, so we eventually get past, and against the AlphaTauri we're going to win that race down the straight, and it's now all about catching that front group and getting second place, because we need to get second place. We need to limit the amount of damage as Gasly runs off wide there. And you see Kimi Raikkonen coming up and fighting him. Kimi Raikkonen down in 7th. That's an unbelievable drive from him to be up there. So his teammates down in 16th. So wow, Kimi Raikkonen 8th. He's fighting with a McLaren. Would you ever believe that? An Alfa Romeo and a McLaren fighting, especially on this series. You know, the McLaren looks really fast, but the Alfa Romeo is out. He's outpacing him down the straight, and they're gonna go side by side through the first chicane. And here we go, Kimi Raikkonen. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. He loses it. But wow, who doesn't love watching a bit of Kimi Raikkonen race around Monza? What a guy! But here we are, chasing the front pack. Verstappen, we're trying to hunt them down, see what we can do. And there's a yellow flag up ahead, so someone's got a problem. It looks like it's the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo. It is Daniel Ricciardo who's going to be out of the Grand Prix. So that makes our life a little bit easier. That gives us an extra place. And you come down here, it looks like it was just an engine issue. There was smoke coming out the back of his car. And it was. So he's got an engine issue, and you've got to feel for him, because he's up in a P2, he's looking for a podium, and all of a sudden he's out of the race. But it makes our job easier. We only have to overtake 2 cars to get P2 now, and here they are fighting. Verstappen goes at the inside of Vettel. I'm looking at this, thinking we can get something out of this. Verstappen locks up. We're going to get a good run coming out. We do get a good run. We're right behind Vettel, and going up into turn 4 is our favourite place to overtake. So we're going to go up the inside. No, we go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. Now coming up on Verstappen, we've got so much more speed than the Red Bull. We can't go that way because of Vettel, so we go at the inside, we do a little dummy, and what a move that is. We get at the inside of Verstappen, so 2 cars in pretty much 1 corner, and that is unbelievable. So we're up to P2. I was very happy with that move. But it was very, very tight. with Vettel, because I watched it back at the replay and I squeezed him onto the grass a little bit. But thankfully I didn't stick it that way and ended up going to the inside. But here with Verstappen, the problem is we're making mistakes left, right and centre. You know, Hamilton's getting further away. He's out of the equation. It's all about holding on to P2. And we're making mistakes, and Verstappen's ready to capitalise on it. So we have to be careful. And it's just simple things like locking up or missing our braking zone. And it's under pressure. I don't seem to be the greatest on this game. So we're locking up. You know, we're struggling to get the exits that we need. And Verstappen, he's pushing on us, so we're going to have to take the inside. He tries to go around the outside. We can't let him back past. We've got to fight this with all we can. And he's going to go around the outside again. We're going to stick it to the inside. We get a better run out, but he's got DRS coming down here. So we're going to have to use all our ERS. And we use it as much as we can, dumping it all. We're going to have to brake later than him. And we do brake later, and we just about stick it through. So we are just about managing to stay ahead of the Red Bull. And you've got to remember, Verstappen, he's still in the championship fight, kind of. I mean, I don't think he has the car to win it. Obviously, the Red Bull in this game isn't what it is in real life. But he is still there and abouts in the championship battle. So it is important we beat him. And plus the extra 3 points could be crucial come the end. So we are just about keeping ahead of Verstappen with 5 laps to go. And it's all about just getting away from him, seeing if we can create a 1 second gap, which we do. And we get out of his DRS. And it's just, here I'm more thinking about fastest lap. Can we take it away from Hamilton? He's won the race, but can we take the points away from him? And we do get the fastest lap here.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Jeff giving me some encouragement. We get the fastest sector 3. So it was good. But now, coming onto the final lap, we've got that gap from Verstappen, so he saved up ERS.
Final lap of the race.
And we know Hamilton's going to go for the fastest lap, so we're going to go for it again to try and make sure that we've got that extra point. It's coming into the first chicane. It looks pretty tidy. A little bit of a wobble as we come out, but we are all good. And it feels like a solid first sector. A lot better than what I did originally. So we're coming down here, and you'll see our sector 1 time. We are 4 tenths up on our best time currently. So that's huge confidence. And at this point I'm thinking, alright, we got this. But then you look at the top left, and that gap between Hamilton hasn't really changed. So Hamilton is definitely on his fastest lap. He's definitely pushing, and he's trying to take it away from us. So we've got to make sure this one counts. As we're coming down the straight, we're going to see what sort of time we put in. Are we going to put in a purple sector? Is it going to be a green? What could we put in? We put in another purple. So we're over 5 tenths up on our best time, and it's looking pretty good for us. It's looking like we're going to get that fastest lap. And Hamilton, he's going to come around. We're going to see if he's beating it or not. He hasn't beaten it just yet, so we look alright, but yep, no, he's beating it just, so we're fine. As long as we finish, but we swerve it and we pin it into the wall, and that's a red front wing, and we are so lucky we didn't DNF. We just about keep it ahead of Verstappen, but wow. We should have had fastest lap. We were about 5 tenths up on Lewis Hamilton's time anyway, but we put it in the wall, but thankfully we got across the line and got 18 points and didn't get a DNF.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Wow, so what a race around Monza. I think if you told me at the start I'll get P2, I would have been very happy with it, which I am. It's just a little frustrating I couldn't get the fastest lap as well. And as you can see, he only beat me by less than 2 1,000, so we had it. All we had to do was an easy third sector. We didn't even have to push through it, but I didn't know at the time. So yeah, second place, 18 points. Now we're only 69 behind Hamilton, so we can improve on that. Hamilton's going to have to take penalties later on, so we should be able to close that gap more and more come the end of the season. So it's exciting times, and I really think we can do it and send it to Abu Dhabi. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.